Third persons and contracts. That's what we're going to be looking at in this area. Third-party beneficiary is created when two persons enter into a contract with the intended purpose of benefiting a third person. What is an intended beneficiary? An intended beneficiary is a third party to the contract whom the contracting parties intended to benefit directly from their contract. The intended beneficiary does not have to be identified by name, but may be identified by class. There are two types of intended beneficiaries, a creditor beneficiary and a donee beneficiary. A creditor beneficiary is a third party that benefits when the promisee's primary intent is to discharge a duty owed to the third party. A donee beneficiary is a third party who benefits from a contract in which a promisor agrees to give a gift to the third party. The most common form of donee beneficiary contracts is a life insurance policy. Although an intended beneficiary can enforce her rights to a contract, she cannot do so until her rights to the contract vest or mature such that a party can legally act on the right. Before a third party's rights have vested, the original contracting parties can make changes to the original contract without the permission of the third party. If a contract specifies that the original contracting parties maintain the right to alter or rescind the contract, the vesting of the third party's rights does not preclude the promisor or the promisee from changing the original promise. An intended third-party beneficiary can sue to enforce the contract, but the status as a third-party beneficiary does not give the third-party beneficiary more rights than the contract provides. An incidental beneficiary is one who unintentionally gains a benefit from a contract. For example, Cassandra contracts with Garrett to have him build a well-financed private high school on the property she owns. A new school may raise the property values of local homeowners. The local homeowners benefit from the contract and are incidental beneficiaries, but incidental beneficiaries cannot sue on a contract. Factors used to determine the type of beneficiary. Number 1, whether performance of the contract is done directly to the third person. Number 2, the third party's ability to control the specifics of the performance of the contract. And number 3, whether the contract directly states that the third party is the benefiting party. Assignments and delegation. An assignment occurs when a party to a contract, an assignor, transfers her rights to a contract to a third person, an assignee. In other words, the assignor gives to an assignee the right to collect what was contractually agreed on in the first contract. A delegation occurs when a party to a contract, a delegator, transfers her duty to perform to a third party who is not a part of the original contract and is called the delegatee. Assignments transfer rights and delegations transfer duties. Contractual rights that cannot be assigned. Rights to a contract cannot be assigned when the contract is personal in nature. The obligor must have promised something specific to the person receiving it. Rights that cannot be assigned include assignments that would increase the risks or duties of the obligor, or the duties that the obligor would face in fulfilling the original contract. Rights cannot be assigned when the contract expressly forbids assignments. Notice does not need to be given for a valid assignment. Nevertheless, it is a good idea for the assigner or assignee to notify the obligor of the assignment. Generally, an assignment may be in any form. Unless restricted by the terms, the assignee acquires all the rights of the assignor. The making of an assignment does not relieve the assignor of any obligation of the contract. For defenses and set-offs, the assignee's rights are no longer greater than those of the assignor. Duties that cannot be delegated. Some duties cannot be delegated. One type of duty that cannot be delegated is a duty of a personal nature. For example, Victoria contracts with Michael, a famous artist, to paint her portrait. Michael cannot delegate his duty to paint Victoria. Also, the second type of duty that cannot be delegated is a duty whose performance by the delegatee would vary significantly from the performance by the delegator. The third type of situation is in which delegations are prohibited occurs when the contract prohibits them. When a UCC sale of goods contract provides for assignments of all rights, this wording may create both an assignment of rights and a delegation of duties.